Groovy. Hello, all. What a gorgeous night we are having here in good old Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm so excited for all of you who got on. This is just so cool. So tonight's topic, we are talking about meditation for people who don't meditate. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my first experience meditating. It was actually kind of horrible, to be quite honest with you. I was kind of in a dark period in my life. I like to call it the lost years because they were the years in which everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And in every aspect of my life, whether it was personally, professionally, relationships, I mean, it basically all crumbled. And within this time, I was trying to find some kind of way to just relax, some kind of way to connect to myself spiritually and not be so stressed out and freaked out all the time. And maybe that's you. And if it's not good for you, this still might be good for you in case one day you find yourself in that position. But a friend of mine had actually invited me to go to a meditation class with her at Ruby Juice in Cheyenne, and it was very interesting. I walked in, it was like 7 o'clock at night in Ruby Juice, which is usually like this, hippie kind of fruit and juice joint. And, at 7 o'clock at night, it is not a hippie fruit and juice joint. It is a business with refrigerators that buzz and hum and no customers and no employees. And it was really kind of interesting to walk in. And when I walked in, there was this little Buddhist nun who had shaved her head. She was very, very slim and slender, and she had the long Buddhist robes on, and she was just very interesting. And when she spoke, it was kind of with a very ethereal voice. I mean, it was just really interesting to listen to her talk. And she led this class and started it off with some Buddhist chanting, which I was like, I don't even know what we're doing at that point in time. Me and God, we were just trying to figure each other out. And so this whole Buddhist thing was like, oh, no, okay. But anyways, so after this whole chanting bit, we got into like this 45-minute long meditation. And if you have never ever meditated once in your life, 45 minutes is agony, like absolute agony. And I was dying mostly. And we'd have moments of silence, and then she'd speak very softly and give us something to think about. And then we'd have longer moments of silence, and then she'd speak a little bit more. So 45 minutes goes by, and I swear I was itching from not moving. And there's this room of people who are around me who are very, what you would consider fruit and granola eating tree huggers. Very hippie-esque and difficult for someone like me who'd never submerged myself in that kind of environment to be around. Very type A, kind of panicked in my own mind. And here I was surrounded by people who were like, kumbaya, man. And I totally didn't get it. So after this 45-minute long meditation, there was a little class she did on mindfulness, and it was really interesting. One of the things I remember at some point in this meditation class was she talked about loving your enemies. And at this point in time, I seem to have had a lot of enemies. And I'm like, loving your enemies, like that's silly. I am a grudge holder. And so that's basically where I was. And but she brought up, in loving your enemies, you're actually loving yourself. So to kind of forgive those past hurts, bake someone who's giving you a hard time a plate of cookies, not with X-Lax in them, mind you, but bake them a plate of cookies and deliver them with a happy heart. She said, "You cannot hate someone who you want to do nice things for." I thought that was so profound. So, so profound. So after this wonderful little class, we continued on into another 45-minute meditation. At this point in time, I had been sitting so long and sitting so still that I felt like I was going to run out screaming. It was physically painful. And I continued to go back to this class every week for about 6 months. And when I stopped going, I realized that I could do the whole meditation thing, but I couldn't handle 45 minutes. And I'm still in that place where I don't want to handle it for 45 minutes, to be honest with you. Meditation is great in smaller doses. So it's kind of, for me, it's like a little pill, little prescription, just a little dab will do you. And it's amazing what can come to that. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Am I screen sharing? I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry about that. So anyways, I decided to be very intentional about meditating about 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day was about all I had. Sometimes 3 minutes was more than I could handle. So 10 minutes seemed like a happy place between the 45 minutes and not at all. And from this meditation, I found that I was sleeping better and I was better able to handle stress. I was better able to handle difficult people. I was better able to just kind of deal with life. It made it easier to just breathe and function. So the basics of meditation is turning off your brain. And in the busy world that we live in, turning off your brain is so, so difficult because there's one next thing to talk about. There's one next thing to do. There's one more thing to take care of. I mean, I get it. My to-do list every day is ridiculous. I look at it and I'm like, oh, how did I get that much done? Like, it's disgusting. And then I can still make a list for tomorrow. So what meditation does is it helps to draw you away from those things that kind of fragment our relationships or our ability to connect to others or even ourselves. So you basically turn off your brain. Many meditators, they envision a bright ball of light and they focus all their consciousness and all their energy on that. Other people just focus on their breath, focusing on inhale and exhale and just trying to slow it and control it. And I found that for me, focusing on the ball of light makes me giggle, and focusing on my breath can be easier. I've also found another way to meditate that I think suits me better with my lifestyle and just my ability to disconnect, guided meditation. And there are lots of apps, and if you want to write these down, I do recommend it. Guided meditation, basically you put some earbuds in and either soft music will be playing or you'll listen to waves or raindrops or rivers flowing, or even just someone talking you through your meditation, telling you what to focus on. Hey there, Sue.
Hi.
I'm going to mute you. Okay, hold on. Where are we at? I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. So, apps that I usually really enjoy for meditation are OmLife, and that's OmLife. There's, I think, 8 different meditations a day for 4 times a day. So if you were to do, you could do like one 15-minute meditation first thing in the morning, or you could do a 30-minute meditation first thing in the morning. So it gives you a couple options, but it gives you there's a morning meditation, there's like a midday meditation, mid-afternoon meditation, and then like a bedtime meditation. So there's a couple different ones you could do with the Om Life. The Abundance meditation app is really good too if you're struggling in areas of scarcity or fear. They're more guided meditations. He talks you through how to improve in various aspects of your life, whether it's goal setting or weight loss or money management or anything like that. There's some really good stuff. And then also Brain Tuner is another one that I found that I really enjoy. And that one is, I believe, if I remember correctly, I haven't used it in a while. You can pick which sounds you listen to. So that's a neat one too. Not my favorite of the three, but it is a good one. You can also Google other apps. I'm sure search them in the App Store or the Marketplace. Another form of meditation that I've also practiced is yoga. And yoga is more of a moving meditation because you do have to focus so much on the breath, so much on the movement, and just forgiving yourself for not being perfect. And that's one thing I really like about yoga. But one thing I found through meditation is I have more energy throughout the day, and I am better able to handle stressful situations without a stressful demeanor. And when you meditate, you'll kind of come out of it and you might feel a little stoned. Like I'm just saying, it's like a blissed out, like high as a kite sensation, but you're not high on any intoxicants, which is pretty interesting, but you just feel a greater sense of peace and well-being, which is incredible, completely incredible. And I think oftentimes when we think of meditation, we also think of, sitting there with our hands on our laps and closing our eyes and doing some sort of chanting or and that's not quite it. Not quite it. And it is some practices of meditation. You can do that. Personally, when I meditate, I like to lay down. And I do enjoy closing my eyes. It makes it a lot easier for me to disconnect from everything around me. And just kind of focus on, and lately I've been doing the guided meditations. That seems to be speaking more to me more than anything. Even if it's just a 15-minute guided meditation, I lay down, I close my eyes, and when it's over, I feel much more energized. A danger, though, when you are meditating and you are laying down with your eyes closed, you might fall asleep, and that's okay. Set an alarm if you're worried you're going to nap the day away. Because sometimes, all that stress, like just releasing the stress and releasing all the energy and just releasing everything around us and letting our body kind of deregulate, can just make you fall asleep. And that's totally normal, especially when you begin meditation, to fall asleep, because it does take a lot of work not to focus. And typically our natural reaction is to fall asleep. It's pretty crazy. So you can lay down, you can sit down, you can even stand up. You can meditate with your eyes open, you can meditate with your eyes closed. There's so many different things, so many different ways you can meditate. Like I said, you could also do yoga, do some sort of flow sequence, or get out in nature. I've often found that I am a water sign, and I am also more of a water person. So I really seem to be able to connect to nature through water. You send me out in the woods, I'm fine, but I'm slightly paranoid. Some people do great in the woods. My husband is one of those. I am someone who's always drawn to water, and water is where I find myself find it easier to connect to my Creator and to myself. And I can just spend hours and hours and hours sitting by the water doing absolutely nothing but sitting there, and it's kind of cool. So, if you get out in nature, find a place that makes you happy. somewhere that brings you peace instead of, instant anxiety like so many of us experience. Um, Another thing you can do if you're not going with like a guided meditation, setting the intention for meditation. So like, what is the word you're focusing on? Well, today my word is love. Or, there was someone posted a video on Facebook the other day, or a guided meditation. And it's something that I've said for so long. In with the good, out with the shit. In with the good, out with the shit. And if that's something you have to say to yourself, it's totally okay. Like, that's your focus, that's your intention, just to let go. Um, and like I said, setting a goal for time is important. I think it's good too. It gives you something to focus on. If we can find 10 minutes a day to meditate, even if it's sitting in the car waiting for your kids to get out of school. But just setting a goal for time. And you don't have to be a marathon meditator. So many yogis and Buddhist monks out there have said it's not about the quantity so much as the quality. If you get a better meditation in 10 minutes than you do in 45 minutes, stick with the 10 minutes because you're going to get more out of it. Yeah, it's so cool how the whole meditation thing works, and I just urge you guys to at least give it a try. And I find when you're better connected to yourself, it's a lot easier to stay connected to your goals as they pertain to your health and fitness, or even personal and professional. How you want your family to grow, how you see things playing out. Um, it's so, so, so crucial. And so many of us fail to connect with who we are, why we are the way we are, and just appreciate the human being we are. And I think that's, more than anything, I think that's what I have found to be true in meditating, and why I find it valuable and encourage so many others to do it too. You guys have any questions? Anything I didn't cover? If you're muted, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, or you can feel free to type it in the chat box to your right. I know we just have a few of us on here tonight. There is a bit of a delay, so I'll wait for a moment. Do, do, do. Awesome. I see Rebecca and Sarah are on here. Do you ladies have any questions for me? Or Sue or Karen? Any of you guys with questions? I know I covered a lot of information in just a short period of time. I want to make sure that I can answer anything as it pertains to meditation, or anything else you're working on right now, whether it's with boot camp or your nutrition or self-love or anything. Shoot those questions out there, you little lovers. Any questions? There may be a delay, so if I haven't gotten your questions yet, feel free to post them in the chat box on the right. I hope we're working okay. All right, ladies. Well, I'm not seeing any questions coming through. So if there is anything that arises within the next hour or the next day or the next week, until I see you again, be sure to post them in the accountability group on Facebook, or if it's something that you don't care to share with everyone, you're welcome to message me on Facebook or send me a text. And you should have my phone number, or you can also send an email to cheyenneFitBody@gmail.com, and Tristan or I will be happy, happy, happy to get back to you. Um, Perfect. Well, I'm so glad you guys were on tonight, and I really hope you got something awesome out of this. And I am just so grateful for each and every one of you getting on here and listening to what I have to say and being so receptive to the program and what we're doing. And you guys are just the bee's knees, and I couldn't do this without any of you. So have a wonderful night. You're working! Very enlightening. Oh, you're so sweet, Sarah. I appreciate you. Awesome. Well, little lovers, I appreciate you. And if there's no questions, I will talk to you tomorrow or later this week at boot camp. Can't wait for the new location. I don't know about you guys, but I am over the moon excited. And I hope to pull out something so awesome. You guys are going to just love it. So have a wonderful night, and I consider each and every one of you such a blessing to me. Have a great, great night.